What's going on with the housing crisis in San Diego? We're getting some insight from the president of J.T. Kruer and Company. Please welcome Jonathan Kruer.
All right, very special guest today. Jonathan Kruer is here. How are you doing, Jonathan?
Very good. How are you?
Great to have you here. So a little bit about yourself before we talk about the housing crisis in San Diego and what we can expect in the near future with regard to that. Tell us a little bit about your company, J.T. Kruer and Company.
Well, we're a real estate development services firm. Our clients come to us to help them with the process of developing their projects. We start with costing out what the work is going to be, doing value engineering, working with their design professionals, take them right through to bidding out the work and actually managing the building of the work for them. So we can take it from beginning to delivery to the market for them if they like.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this?
I've been in business for 20 years and been working in the industry for 30.
Okay, so you've seen a few different market cycles and whatnot. And how big are some of the biggest projects that you've done?
We've done some very large master plan communities. We've built several here in San Diego County. Rancho Cielo up in Rancho Santa Fe for one. And then we also did all the construction management for Lennar on Bressi Ranch up in Carlsbad.
Okay, so fair enough. I think we can say the man's credible in this arena. So we've set the stage for that. Now let's talk about this housing crisis, or you could call it a building crisis, right? Because, I mean, or could you? What are your macro thoughts on this?
Well, from a housing crisis standpoint, it's an unusual situation to be in, especially after, coming from a major recession like we did in 2008. Typically in San Diego, you would see the building industry revved up and you would see a lot of units coming on the market, especially over the last 3 years. One of the more interesting statistics is things leveled out at about 10,000 building permits in 2015, 2016. Where we're going right now here after the first quarter, actually going, through the second quarter right now, we're probably only going to see about 50 or 60% of that many building permits take place this year in a market that is probably only serving 30% of the actual housing needs of San Diego County.
I mean, it's a collision course situation. Remember the fiscal cliff? We have a housing cliff, and we're floored. And we're pointed right towards that thing, is the way I say it. But there's no way around it because the influx of people versus the amount of land that's available, it just doesn't add up. There's a collision course. Am I wrong?
Well, it's a recipe. A lot of things have gone into this to make it like this. There have been years of environmental regulation that has reduced the volume or the inventory of land available for development.
Yeah.
Entitlement has, 25 years ago, you could entitle a piece of property, even with, environmental issues or density issues, you could get that entitled within 3 years. It's not unusual to take 8 to 10 years to entitle a piece of property now.
That's incredible. So is that part of the issue though? I mean, in other words, if you could get the entitlements more quickly, and let's say the environmental regulations went away, wouldn't that just sort of kick the can down the road? I mean, we still have the same macro problem of, more people coming here than we have the ability to build units for, land-wise, right?
Well, I don't know that San Diego really has an incredible amount of people moving into the community anymore, mostly because of the affordability issue of living here. Not like when I came here 30 years ago. San Diego was a fairly easy place to buy a home in. A lot of people and a lot of employers aren't really necessarily interested in moving into a community where the wage structure would require them to pay far more than they may be paying, say, in Florida or in Texas or in Arizona, to bring their people or their companies and jobs into a community like San Diego.
When we say affordable, what do we mean? I mean, what are we looking at in the realm of affordability in San Diego now?
Well, it's not very pretty. You have to look at it in the light of what the average household income or median household income is in San Diego, which is about $63,000, $64,000. If you look at that if you go through the underwriting, say a 30-year loan, 4% interest, 20% down, that gets you about a $380,000 house. All right, the average resale home in San Diego County is $500,000 approximately now. The average new construction home is $600,000 now. So we're talking about something that's just clearly outstripped the average household in San Diego.
Are you bearish on the real estate market right now?
The real estate market is truly taking a paradigm shift right now in San Diego. Right now, even with the reduced building permits, you're seeing almost 3-to-1 multifamily to single family being built now. Traditionally in Southern California, let alone San Diego, which was even more so, the single family housing always far outstripped the multifamily housing permits.
So is that the shift that's taking place? We're going away from the traditional single family homes with the yard and the white picket fence to skyscraping apartments, buildings. That's what's being built. So that's the choice that people have, is that's where they're going.
Well, exactly. It's something that's taking place not necessarily because of preference, but because of that's what's there. You can get multifamily, multi-dwelling properties entitled quicker, especially if they're in downtown San Diego. Single family means land development or subdivisions, and those take very long to entitle. And once the land is entitled, it's like, you know, I equate it to the references, well, how much is a diamond worth? Well, diamond's worth whatever somebody wants to pay for it. And that's what happens with land in San Diego when it's entitled for single family homes. You finally will find somebody who will probably pay more than it's really worth for it. And that sets the stage for housing prices that are going to be out of the marketplace. They're going to be unaffordable. So single family housing, because of entitlement, has been reduced. Multifamily has become the norm because that's what can be entitled and is affordable, at least, you know, relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah.
That's a very loose term, affordable, in here in San Diego, especially when we're talking about real estate. Where are you investing your money? Can you give us some secrets here, or tell us, kind of get the inside scoop? I want to know, hey, what should I do here?
Well,
is it smart to buy a house right now?
If you have the down payment and you have the income for the payments and you plan on staying in San Diego, it's probably your only choice of buying a home. If you don't buy one now, your affordability, literally at the rate we're going right now, your affordability is going to go down less every year, which means you'll either pay more or you'll get less house.
Yeah, or you'll just be left behind.
Or you'll be left behind, which is really a big issue going forward, because a lot of people who do stay in San Diego, they're looking at their families, possibly their children, never being able to afford a home in San Diego.
So when we look at something like that and you see that as a possibility, just last question for you here is, you know, I've said that in the future, it may be the case that not everybody gets to own homes. You know, now the government made a lot of efforts through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, financing, FHA, VA, to try to get people the opportunity to own a home. But in the future, that may not be the case. It may just be only wealthy people who own real estate. Now, maybe 50 years from now, maybe 100 years from now. But do you believe that right now, even though prices are high, it's still a great opportunity, just the fact that someone could own their own home?
Again, I think it's a lifestyle choice. I mean, it's where do you dedicate your financial resources. If you want a home and you intend to live in San Diego long term, the sooner you buy, the better. And if you're looking for something, if you're not going to retire, let's say in San Diego, you're probably going to have something that's going to produce a very nice cash nest egg for you to retire somewhere else. So
he finally said it. The sooner you buy, the better. You all heard it here.
That's
there it
true.
is. Jonathan Kruer, thank you so much
true.
for coming in today. Really appreciate it. And stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else who do it all commercial free.